Shalom, bless you all. This is Sister Gabrielle again, and I first want to apologize um, for being late. I know I set a specific time for me to do these videos, but you know, when you have a very productive schedule, sometimes you run over just a little bit. But I wanted to make sure that when I got home, I still came on to do the video. And so I hope that this information is beneficial to you all. And I'm just going to wait for about 5 minutes and then we will get started. Again, this video is on choosing essential oils. I know in this health craze that's going on in the world now, in society, especially American society, who is just now getting on board with doing an alternative to traditional medicines. Everybody's buying essential oils. And what I have been hearing and witnessing lately are stories of being able to get these essential oils that I know normally cost a pretty penny for an affordable, like truly, like massively affordable prices. And so I wanted to make a video to make sure that you guys aren't getting bamboozled and duped and hoodwinked and bewitched and what other term could I say? Tricked, shiced. I don't know. Is that one? Cheated. Shammed. Is that a word? Shammed and scammed by thinking that you were purchasing quality essential oils, and really you're probably purchasing a fragrance oil where they have just labeled it as an essential oil to get your money. Essential oils are not fragrance oils, and they are to be held and used with respect. Okay. I mean that by you do not want to frivolously use an essential oil, a pure grade, top quality essential oil. You cannot just use it any type of way. Okay. It will cause irritation to you if it's used improperly. Now, these are the true essential oils. Okay. So it's just like taking our vitamins and minerals and just thinking you're going to take as much as you want to. No, there are limitations to everything. Even though these things are good for you, you have to make sure that you are using it with respect for the properties and the constituents, the composition of that plant, that herb, that bark, that resin, that flower, that leaf, whatever part of the actual essential oil is derived from. You want to use it with respect, so that way you don't bring any harm to your body at all. So I'm going to give it about a couple of minutes and then we will get started. Okay. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and get started because I do have another video that I would love to upload tonight. So let me go ahead and get started with this. Hallelujah, bless you all. Thank you for coming to view this. Let me take it off of. There we go. Okay, here I am. So it is nighttime now, and I'm just getting home from errands for my family. Okay. I think you guys can see me. My camera just looks a little bit blurry. I'm gonna start off with this again. You will see this in every video because enjoy this drink and the benefits that it brings to me. So, Kavita, a refreshing drink. Hallelujah. Okay. Enough of that. So, choosing essential oils. I will be looking down because I took notes. I wrote some things down. And towards the end of this video, or maybe in the middle of the video, I will actually show you my essential oils that I prefer, that I recommend, and that I use personally in all of my products that I use essential oils in. And so I want you to see that what I use is actually I'll check that. Okay. Oops. Oopsie. It smells so good. Okay. I just actually poured some of my oil out. Some oil out. Sorry. It smells so good, guys. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. All right. So, my notebook. Essential oils. So, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 items. They are not in a specific order, but they are nonetheless important in helping you decide whether or not the essential oils that you have are really essential oils, and not just fragrance oils. Okay. Alrighty. So, all right. You want to look for quality and not a low price when looking to purchase essential oils. So in looking for the quality, you want to see how was the essential oil cultivated. You want to see what's the process that was taken to prove the quality of that oil. You don't want it to be too expensive, but you don't want it to be too cheap either. If it's too expensive, that may be a red flag. If it's too cheap, that may be a red flag too. So I'm going to give you a couple of different price ranges that it should be in pertaining to this certain type of oil that you get. I'm going to name the oils that should be expensive. And then I'm going to name the oils that should not be expensive, just like a couple of them, like a couple of the main ones that people buy. Okay. Drinking my superfood too. So I'm like between superfood, water, and Kavita. Okay. So I guess the first thing you can do is test the oil. If you have any essential oils at home, you can get your jar, which like here's a jar of mine. Here's my essential oil. This is empty. I've used it. But you get your jar, and your jar should have a reducer. This is another thing to look for. If you purchase an essential oil and it doesn't have one of these, okay, because these right here, this reducer, that's what it's called, is what protects the essential oil from oxidation, and it protects the shelf life of the essential oil. Because the constituents of the oil can evaporate in the air, this reducer helps lower that natural process. Because of course, when you take the top off, airflow is going, but you won't lose the constituents of that oil as quick as you would without the reducer. So you want to make sure it has one of these. And forgive my little band-aid there. I tore off into my nail. So there's the reducer. That's what you want. Okay. Also, pay attention to the color of the bottle. If the essential oil you are buying is not in a amber or a blue, like a cobalt blue jar, glass. This is glass. That is a no-no. That's a clear sign to steer away from that oil, because the glass also protects the composition of the oil, and it protects it from the UV rays of the sun. Okay. So another tip, it needs to be in a glass jar, and the jar needs to be amber or cobalt blue. Okay. You want to make sure that the company that you are getting your oils from is a reputable company. Check the background of the company. See how long it's been in business. See the reviews. Look up reviews on it. See if there are any adverse reactions that have happened to anybody, or do some research, do some background on that company. See, does this company allow everybody to purchase oils from them, or do they only allow certain people to purchase? Do they only allow certain companies, certain wholesalers, or certain distributors? Do you have to have a certain type of credential to be able to distribute their oil? So you want to look up things like that. Things like that lets you know whether or not a good sourced oil. Okay, so you want to look into that as well. If at all possible, excuse me, I'm tongue tied in a moment. If at all possible, if they give you an option to get organic, get organic. Okay, get organic essential oils. That way you can steer clear of any type of pesticides being sprayed on the oil. On the plant. Any type of herbicides being sprayed on the plant. So you want to make sure that if you can get organic. It may be priced a little bit higher, but you know that you won't have to deal with any type of synthetic chemicals that have got mixed into the oil as well. Also note that they're called essential oils, but they're really typically not oil. Okay. They almost have the consistency of water. So that's another way to tell whether or not you actually have a pure grade essential oil, as if it kind of looks like water. Okay. So I'm going to show you like mine. This is Helixarium. And if you look here at the jar, Try to get it in a good, when I shake it, it's shaking. It looks like water is in there. Let's see. You see that? It looks like it's water. Also, when I pour, I have to literally like slowly tilt it because this oil that I use, and this is the oil that I recommend. I do distribute this oil. This is a reputable company. This is pharmaceutical grade. Okay. Only certified herbalists, doctors, practitioners, only we have access to these oils. Okay. So I recommend these oils. I recommend this company. So when I am preparing my formulations for my clients, it just seems so, I don't know, the word clients. I don't know, because I hold people's life very dear to me. I even if the word acquaintance is kind of, I don't know. I guess I'll just say for my clients for now until I come up with a better term or better word. But when I'm creating my formulations, because it's like water. And that's what your essential oil should be. There are exceptions to certain oils that should not pour like that, just because of the part of the plant that it comes from and the type of plant that it comes from. If it comes from a tree bark, resin, things like that, it will be thicker. So then I might have to go like this. But most oils that I see a lot of people use, they have to go like this and they hold it for like, and they're looking at it and they're going like this and going like this to finally get it to come out of the dropper. If all of your oils do that, more than likely you don't have a pure grade oil. Okay. You might have an oil mixed with a carrier oil. Okay. It's not the pure grade. It's not the pure oil itself. Okay. So make sure it's a reputable company. When you pour it out on your finger, which I'll do the Helixrium, what I just had, the Helixrium. Hopefully it does not pour fairly, it pours fast. Okay. And it smells so good, which Helixrium helps with blood clotting. It smells so good, guys. Okay. So you want to put a drop on your finger. See that? And I don't know if you caught it, but it came out on my hand and then dripped. You can kind of see the shiny. And it dripped all on 3 fingers. Okay? It's just like water. So it kind of dripped. But what you want to happen is the pure essential oil should have a little bit of slip to it. It shouldn't be oily. So if you look at my finger, you can kind of see where it dripped a little bit. There it is. It dripped all over there. Okay. And it's not oily. It's not greasy. It's just like a little slip, almost like water. So it should have a little slip to it. It shouldn't feel sticky. There's no stickiness, okay? My hands aren't sticking. They're not sticking together. You shouldn't have that. It should just be like a little slip there. Okay. It shouldn't be any strings or oil just floating all over the place. It should just feel smooth, gentle. Okay. So that's another way to test it on your fingers. If it feels sticky, greasy, oily, it's not a pure essential oil. Okay. It shouldn't feel thick. What else? Okay. So the next thing is you can test the oil by putting it on, which I did here. You can test the essential oil by taking just like a sheet of printer paper and you can drop a drop. I accidentally dropped like, this is probably 20 million drops. I'm exaggerating. But when you drop it on the paper, see that? If it has a ring, an oil ring around the area where the oil is, where the essential oil dropped, that is not a pure quality essential oil. Mine doesn't have a ring. It just looks like a watermark. Okay? It's not oily. It's not sticky. Okay? If you drop a drop of your essential oil on a sheet of printer paper and it's oily, or it produces the oil ring around the area where the oil is, that's not a pure essential oil. Okay? You may be dealing with essential oil that's been mixed in a carrier oil, or you may be dealing with a fragrance oil. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you the exceptions of the oils that's allowed to be a little oily and a little thick. Those exceptions would include sandalwood, vetiver, German chamomile, frankincense, myrrh, patchouli, all of your patchouli oils, any type of woodseed oil, any resin oil, that will produce a thicker liquid. Okay. So those are the only ones that really have an exception to being kind of thick and a little bit oily. Okay. Those are the only ones. If your other oils like tea tree, cajeput, what else? Your bergamots, your what else? Get your brother. Your peppermint. Those type of oils should not be thick and should not have an oily residue. Demori, get your brother. Okay. Sorry about that. That was my son, the baby. I kind of lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. Forgive me. This is like the last tip, but a big way to test if you have pure essential oils is to check to see if the oil itself has a scientific botanical name. Okay. If it just says tea tree oil, 100% tea tree essential oil, and it doesn't have the botanical name beside it, below it, in parentheses, it may not be pure essential oil. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'll use my biggest jar that I have over here so you can see. But this is what it should look like. Okay. I have my name of the oil. Okay. Which is Raven Sarah. Okay. And then up under it, you see that is the botanical name. Okay. You need to have that name on there because now you actually know that you actually are getting an essential oil that is derived from a real plant. Okay, so it says Ravensara aromatica. Okay, that's the botanical name. All of your essential oils should have the botanical name. Okay, they also, which is going to tell you if you have a top quality essential oil, they also should have what part of the plant that the oil was derived from. This part, this particular Ravensara oil that I have is from the leaf. So this was distilled from the leaf of the plant. Okay. Your essential oil, if it's a pure grade quality, good quality, top quality oil, should have all of those. Okay. It should have the name, the botanical name, and the part of the plant that the oil is derived from. Okay. So I'm going to show you again. That's what it should look like. The regular name, the botanical name, and then the part of the plant that is derived from. Okay, that will let you know that you are dealing with a pure essential oil. If it does not have the scientific name, do not get it. Okay, or botanical name. For you botanists out there. Okay, you want it to have the botanical name. That way you're not getting cheated and buying a fragrance oil. Okay. So that is like one of the number one ways to let you know if you're really dealing with a pure oil. So I want to let you know, I first start talking about the price range. It shouldn't be too high and it shouldn't be too expensive. So I'm going to tell you the oils that should be expensive. Okay. These are the oils that should be expensive when you purchase them. If these oils in the store are like $20, $25, $30, don't buy it. Okay. Because it's not pure quality. It's not the real deal. All right. One oil that should be expensive always is cinnamon, the cinnamon bark. That essential oil is, let me tell you a benefit of it. And this is why it should be expensive. A benefit of cinnamon bark essential oil is it is carcinogenic. It helps kill cancer. It is an antiviral, an antibacterial, an antifungicidal, okay? Did I say antiviral already? Maybe so. Antimicrobial, okay? It is a power pack anti everything, okay? It has the ability to shrink tumors. That oil should not be $25. That oil at the cheapest for a half an ounce should range at least $82. Okay. If it's not $82 at a half an ounce, you're not getting the true cinnamon bark. Okay. That oil should be expensive. Another oil that should be expensive is the one that I just showed you probably the oil right before. This oil, Helixrium, that oil should be expensive. For a half an ounce, that oil should run you about $49, $50. Okay? Because it helps with blood clotting. Okay? You definitely want Helixrium to be pure quality. You definitely want cinnamon bark to be pure quality because the types of diseases and ailments that it helps is serious. So you don't want to be buying a low grade or a falsified essential oil to treat something that is as serious as that. All right, so those should be expensive. Another one is, which this one won't be as expensive as the Helixrium or the cinnamon bark, but it's expensive for the average person purchasing essential oils. Myrrh. Okay. Myrrh for a half an ounce should be about $41. Okay. That's just for a half an ounce. Okay. Another expensive oil should be German chamomile and Roman chamomile. Okay. For a half an ounce, that should be like $60. Okay. If those oils are like $20 cheaper than that, it's not the real deal. Okay. It's not the real deal. I don't care what names they use. I don't care if it says, what's the name that we see a lot that I used to get tricked on was a therapeutic grade. There's no standards for the therapeutic to have a name therapeutic grade. Okay. That name means nothing. It's just a name that sounds fancy to make you be like, oh, it's therapeutic too, therapeutic grade. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get that. No, it's just a name that sounds good. So it doesn't mean anything. Also, if you see something, what do you need, Demore? No, go. Okay. If it also says nature identicals, that's just another word that's letting you know that it's not pure. Nature identical. No. Okay. That's like saying genetically modified. So, those words mean nothing. It just sounds good. This industry likes to, well, not even just this industry, this society in general likes to create catchphrases and create words to make us be like, oh, well, I ain't never heard of that before. Well, that sound like that. That got to be good. Therapeutic grade, nature identical. I need something identical to nature. No, what you need is what is real, which is nature. You don't want anything identical to nature. You want nature itself. Okay? So don't get hung up on those words. They mean nothing. They're probably there to make you think you need to spend more, pay more because of that name. Kind of like on your eggs, cage free, free range. Doesn't mean anything. Okay? You want free range and cage free eggs, organic eggs. Get you a couple of chickens. They don't cost much. Feed them a nutritious diet, and you will have all the free range eggs and cage free eggs your heart desires. Okay? Hallelujah. Okay. I think I think that's pretty much it. So I gave you the ones that should be expensive. And then the ones that shouldn't really cost you anything are, I guess I can name a few. Let me see. Cedarwood. That should run you probably like $10. So if you see cedarwood oil for $10, that's a normal price. Okay. If it costs more, if it's like $50 and $40, don't buy that. Because cedarwood should never be that expensive. Okay. Don't buy it. Carrot seed oil. That's kind of a median range. $30 is good to spend for carrot seed oil. This is at the half ounce. Okay. I'm not giving you really any 1 ounce prices, which I could. Let me see. My 1 ounce prices would be for your, what is that? The carrot seed, 1 ounce would be $45. That's a typical price. That's a good price. Like I said, the essential oils that I use and the essential oils that I recommend are pharmaceutical grade. Okay, they're top quality. And it's from a reputable company. You can actually look this company up. They've been around since 1987 as far as the essential oil line goes. And this is what we use in the hospital facilities. This is what we use in our physical therapy offices. This is what we use in our consultation centers for herbalists, nutritionists, and as well as homeopathic nurses, practitioners, and homeopathic doctors, naturopaths. This is the type of essential oils that we use. Okay, so $45 for 1 ounce of carrot seed oil is good. That's a typical price that you would pay. Because I'm not sure. I don't think the essential oils that you're able to get access to in the market, I'm not for certain if they come in half ounce bottles. So I guess I could read off some just typical prices that you would pay for a 1 ounce. And I'm going to try to read some most people know about. So eucalyptus is a very good oil. I recommend everybody have that oil, especially a part of your first aid kit at home and in your car. Eucalyptus it opens up the air passageways. It opens up the lungs. It is one of the best oils to use in your time of congestion and coughs and having colds, being stuffed up. So eucalyptus oil should run you, for 1 ounce about $12, somewhere around there, $12 to $15. That is a good price to pay for eucalyptus oil. Hyssop. I really like hyssop. It is a purifying essential oil. It cleanses the air. Okay. For a 1 ounce bottle, that should run you about $42. That is a good price for hyssop. Let me see, something else that is kind of cheap that should be affordable would be lemon oil. For a 1 ounce jar, $12 is reasonable. You can purchase it if it's $12, but you still want to go through all of the different tips that I had given previously to test it. Even though it's a nice price, you still want to test these oils. They have testers in the store. Before you purchase the oil, open up the tester. If you know you're going to go buy some essential oils, take you some printer paper with you. Remember the method about putting a drop on your finger and feeling it. It should not be sticky. It should not be greasy. It should not be oily. Okay. It should just have a little slip. It should almost come out just like water. You can do this in the store. Most Whole Food stores that sell essential oils, they have testers where you can sit there and test the oil, test the quality of it. Okay. Check the outside of the bottle. Check the bottle to make sure it has the botanical name. Make sure it has what part of the plant it's from and the actual name. Okay. You can do all this in the store. There's no law saying you can't test the products before you buy it. Okay. And if they don't have testers, you can just ask somebody, hey, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, is there a way that I can test this oil to see the quality of it, to see if I want to purchase this? And most of the staff that I've dealt with is pretty, yeah, they're pretty open and willing to make sure that your needs are met because you're the customer. So, you know, feel free to just ask them, hey, sir, is it okay if hey, ma'am, is it okay if I test this? I didn't see that you guys have testers, but could you open a bottle? Maybe you guys have a bottle already in the back open. Is there a way I can test it? Can I smell it? Can I, try it out, ask before you purchase. So that way you're not out of your money. And you can also ask in the event that you do purchase, hey, am I able to bring this back if I am dissatisfied? So yeah, most people, they don't get annoyed by that at all. Especially at your Whole Food stores, they're actually eager to help you get exactly what it is that you're looking for. Now your myrrh at 1 ounce is kind of pricey. That should run you about $75. If it's $25 for 1 ounce for myrrh, don't do it. It's not pure. Okay. It's probably a hint of myrrh in a carrier oil, or it's a fragrance. Okay. Let me see. What else is a cheap oil? Orange for 1 ounce should run you about $10. What else? Let me see. There's another spearmint. Let me see. Spearmint for a 1/2 ounce should run you about $12. Tea tree. Let me see. Tea tree oil for 1 ounce should run you about $14. Okay. Those are some oils that everybody's typically familiar with. Also, wild rosemary, that should run you about $18 as well, around that range. So just take note of this when you go to find you some essential oils, that you're taking note of these things. You always want to make sure it has that botanical name on there. If it has everything else and it doesn't have the botanical name on there, I don't advise you to purchase it. Okay. It has to have a botanical name on there, or you're not going to know if you are actually getting an essential oil. Okay. Essential oils are used for medicinal purposes. If it doesn't have that botanical name on there, you're probably getting a fragrance oil that will have no medicinal benefit whatsoever. Okay. So bless you guys. I hope that this video was informative. Feel free to keep watching it over and over and over to write down all of the things that I went over. So the next time, or in the event that you're about to purchase some essential oils, whether it be from a local store or from a representative of a company like Young Living Essential Oils, doTERRA Essential Oils. I don't really know any other marketing company that does that, but I do know about those two. If you're ever sitting down with the rep for them, these are questions that you can ask. You can ask, can you test it before you purchase it? And they should be willing to let you do those things. Because you don't want to just get something and then it's not what you're looking for. So hallelujah. Bless you all. I pray you have a peaceful night, and I pray that this information was very beneficial to you guys. Thank you again for watching the video. Shalom.